Okay guys, so I recently have gotten a new Furby, as you could have probably already told, and it's a 2007 Furby, and I wanted to go through the process of longifying a 2007 Furby because I haven't seen many online, and I mean, I think that would be useful to do that because I didn't really have a walkthrough or anything, and I think it would be useful to have for someone to have one. So what I did first is I'm gonna also talk through the rest of the making of this. I just built like the first bit on my own, but so first thing you need to do is take off the skin of the Furby, which sounds horribly disgusting, but I mean in a good way. And just you do that by taking off these things. Actually, I'll just take them off and then show you it in a second. So with that off, what I did next was I took off the ring surrounding it, which was this ring, like thing that's screwed in around here, and then that gave me access to basically take off the skin from the bottom. Of course, I started here and just pulled it back, and then once you got to here, and here, you had to like pull out little tabs, which I mean you could just do by brute forcing it, or what I did was I put just a short thing in here and I pushed it against there, and that helped me pull them out a little bit easier. But you could definitely just brute force it. And there's more of those things on this side of the eye, this side of the eye, up here and up here. And then after that, you will eventually have gotten pulled everything out up until the ears, and the ears will be the only things on. You actually can't really get it off. Oh yeah, you also keep in mind, there's also a small thing you have to untie in the back. I took it out, but there's a small little knot, which is for when you pull the tail. And also you have to undo this red thing right here. I think that's like an infrared receiver or something. I mean, I think it's just one of the receivers for it, but it's attached to the skin. And so what I did after that was you pull the skin up until you reach the point where you can't really pull anymore because the ears are too small. And then you have to, it really hurts to do this, but you have to cut a small extra area out of the ears so that you can, through the plastic thing and through the skin a little bit, so that you can pull it, because the ears are too big, you have to pull it through the ears. It really hurt to do that, but that's what had to be done for this. And then with that all done, you basically got a Furby like this. I checked and make sure that it still worked, and with that, what I did was I went to the back right here, unscrewed here, there's one here and one here, and then I took those off carefully and made sure, by the way, when you're putting it back on, you have to make sure to get these red things, magenta things back, make sure that they're on top. And what I did after that was I took the speaker, here it is, out of this guy. What basically all I had to do was just, once I took the back of it off, I took this and I pulled it out. With that, oh yeah, you have to, I unplugged it before I took it out. It's on the right side right here. And with that, I did a bunch of just basically screwing around with my Furby to see basically where everything was and all that. Eventually, all I really ended up doing was I ended up basically destroying its entire life. But I mean, that's normal at this point, because as you can see, we obviously don't care about going to hell anymore. So what happened was I went over here under this part and I took a Dremel and I cut through that so that it couldn't move on its own, basically. since when it moves up and down, it basically, I can't really have a long Furby doing that just because it's weird and that's whack. And you know the deal, it's hard. So basically what I did then was I went to the bottom here. I basically took a Dremel and cut this entire side open, then to see basically what I could do with that. And eventually I found it so that it went to the black wire on the right side. So I basically eventually I cut a little bit off of this piece here. You'll see, I don't know if you can see it, but right there. And then so that I could take the wire out. And then I also got basically a screwdriver or something, and I took it here, and I basically just tapped it in here until the gray screw axle, I guess, came out. And I basically then took a pair of wire cutters, cut the black wire, and then I got these red and black wires that I already previously had, as well as a button from an amp I got actually a while ago from trash picking. And so what's it called? At that point, I cut the black wire and basically soldered the red and black wires to the other wire. So basically, like to each half of the wire, so that it would ended up cutting through there. That's also why this bottom of it is sort of messed up. I messed up here and I cut a bit off here, down here, and also cut a bit here, which I wouldn't recommend doing. You don't actually have to cut off this entire back plate. I put a little hot glue and a little piece of like a matchstick here just to hold this back up, so that would be safe for, so you don't have to hold it back in. And I also drilled a hole in here, which was the original hole I was going to use for the button. And then I realized that there was the motor behind there, and I couldn't have that. So what I did was I decided to use the old microphone hole thing for that. And what I did with that was I just basically took a Dremel, cut a small square out of there, which I also got the button from an amp, from the amp. And then actually these two wires I got from a speed controller, which like a servo speed or motor speed controller, brushless motor speed controller, and I just had to, cut it off since it was broken anyway. And so I soldered those two together, and once I cut the square out for the whatever this thing is called, a button, I basically just took a hot glue gun and hot glued it in. And with that, I pretty much just have a Furby how it is now. It flops around because again, like I said, I took a Dremel and cut out the one gear that you got in there. Actually, just so you know, that was this one. It looks like this. Like that, yeah. And now, to turn it on, you just have to push the button. It takes a few seconds to turn on because I don't know why they designed it that way. It's really weird like that. And yeah, you have to move around a little bit because I guess it doesn't want to wake up unless you move it. But either way, I think it looks really nice. Happy longifying, friends. Either way, I think I'll just go through and do the rest of this thing. I don't know if I want to use the orange skin still, or if I want to make a whole new skin. I think I'm going to end up making a whole new skin, because I'm currently using the orange skin for my Waddle Dee. And yeah, that's about it, friends. I'm gonna just leave it here for now, and I'm gonna probably add more stuff on later. See ya. So after getting everything working, I took the spine and hot glued it on here and there, and then I put some epoxy around it to make sure that it fits good, and I put some super glue around that so it doesn't fall apart. And next thing we're ready, also I sewed a small thing for the head, which we'll see that for a moment. So here's the old original fur and turned inside out, and this thing that goes around the face, that's what I'm going to use to make it so that the face fits on perfectly. So I'm just going to take a knife or something and just cut that out. Alright, so here's the face. Here's the face so far. I got a template, I cut it out, and then I sewed the ring thing to it from the original skin so that the skin fits nicely around the Furby's head. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take this and then sew the rest of the body on to it, like down here. And that should work fine, and then I'll be pretty much done. So yeah, that'd be fun. Okay guys, so we got this boy ready. He's all along so far. Next thing we're gonna do is just plop it on there. So I super glued this in some more, let that sit and dry. Now it's just like a mound of hot glue and super glue, and I also put the beginning of the fur on. I sewed the thing into it, and now all I have to do is flip the fur back on the spine as I stuff it. Yeah. With everything done, I cut off the little feet of the original thing. This one foot is sort of like on loosely, so I'm gonna sew it on again. But I took this and took the screws, not that were holding the orange plate in, but that were holding the plate under it in, and used them to screw it in. Use them to screw the fur. I screwed the screws through the fur back onto the plate, and then the batteries are accessible as normal. And with that being done, also finish sewing that. Ice Cube / Glacier Freeze / Ezekiel is done. They have to. I think it's annoying how like you have to wait. Like, I think you can see it on the camera, but their eyes only go. They only go on for like a little bit, but I mean it takes them a while to light up like that. And I think on camera it just looks so spooky. Shh! Don't cry. There's a new realm for us. Down here. No, no, no. My friend.